I will explain to you how to solve these stoichiometric questions. So let's first begin by reading the question. Methane, CH4, burns in oxygen to form carbon dioxide, CO2, and water vapor, H2O, according to the following balanced equation. And here's the equation. Now, a sample of 0.25 moles methane, so this is for methane, was burnt in 1.25 moles of oxygen. Whenever I have two values given to me in the question, expect the first question to be identify the limiting or identify the excess. So immediately you will create a table, CH4 and O2. The given is 0.250 and mole, and this one 1.25 mole. So that's the given. What do? The next step, you are going to divide the given by the reacting ratio. So you divide it by the reacting ratio, which is 0.250 over 1. So that is 0.250. And 1.25 divided by the reacting ratio of oxygen also is equal to 0.625. And now you compare the answers. Since this answer is smaller, it means CH4 is the limiting. Now, since this is the limiting, for the coming questions, for the next coming questions, you are not allowed to use this value in your calculations, because if I used and built my calculations with the 1.25, this is the excess reagent. It's not gonna give me correct answer. So now, next question, calculate the number of moles, that's one part, and mass. Let's first find the moles of CO2. So I want to find the moles of CO2. Again, am I going to do my calculations with this number or with this number? For sure, not the 1.25, because oxygen is in excess. So I start my calculations with the moles of the limiting times. I want CO2, so the mole ratio is 1 to 1. 1 mole CO2, 1 mole CH4. So the answer is 0.250 mole CO2. I answered this part. Now they want the mass. To find the mass, I use the formula of mass over molar mass. So the mole is 250, the mass is to find, and the molar mass of this one is the molar mass of carbon plus 2 the molar mass of oxygen. So it is 12 plus 16 times 2. Be careful to use parentheses. So the answer is 44. And the answer now, 0.250 times 44 gram, the mass of CO2 formed is 11 grams. Another question. Calculate the number of moles and mass, but this time they want what? H2O. Again, they want this one. Am I going to find H2O by using the excess or by using the given of the limiting? Of course, by using the given of the limiting. So, again, 0.250 mole CH4. But this time the mole ratio is different. I am finding for H2O. So I say 2 moles of H2O over 1 mole of CH4. And the answer is 0.5. So 0.5 mole H2O. I found this. Now they want the mass. So again, mass over molar mass. So 0.5 is the mass. Now the molar mass, hydrogen is 1 plus 1 plus 16. The oxygen, that's 18. So the final answer is 9 grams. Again, one more question. Consider the following information. 1.24 gram sample P4 and 0.96 gram O2. Okay, of course, they gave me two values. They're gonna ask me to find the limiting. I mentioned already before that whenever I'm calculating limiting and excess, I cannot divide a mass by reacting ratio. It means I cannot divide the 1.24 over 1 and the 9.6 over 3 as a first step. No, this mass, I need to find from it the mole. So I need to divide it by the molar mass in order to find the mole. So the 1.24 will be divided by the molar mass of P4, and that is 0.01. So 0.01 mole. And for the oxygen, I take this 9.60 divided by molar mass of O2. And that is 9.6 over 32, 0.3 mole. Now, I divide the mole by the reacting ratio. So 0.01 over what? Over 1, which is 0.01. And 0.3 divided by the reacting ratio of O. So that's 0.1. Who's the larger value? This is the larger value. Who's the smaller value? This is the one. So P4 is limiting. So who's the excess? O2. Meaning that whenever you do calculations, this value cannot be used. I cannot build my calculations with this number, or I cannot build my calculations with this small. I cannot use it. Now look at the next question. Calculate moles of P4O6. Moles of P4O6. I can start from the mass, but I did find the mole of that mass. So instead of repeating the first step, it's already done over here. This, you build your calculation using this value. So here, 0.01 mole of P4 times. I'm looking at P4O6, 1 over 1. 1 mole P4O6 over 1 mole P4 equals 0.01 mole P4O6. Done. Another question. Calculate the mass formed. I have the mole. I can take that mole, plug it in the formula of mass over molar mass to find the mass. All I need is the molar mass of P4O6, 220. So the answer is 2.2 grams. Now another question. After the reaction is completed, tell me how much mole of excess reacted, used, consumed. Let's go back again. Who's our excess? It's O2. So how much of O2 we used in order to answer? So again, I build my calculations using the limiting reagent, using the 0.1 mole. So here, 0.01 mole of P4. But this time, I'm finding it to find the excess. I need to know how many O2 reacted, and the mole ratio is 3 over 1. 3 mole O2 over 1 mole P4. So it is 0.03 mole O2 used, consumed. Now, remaining. So the remaining, how much original I have? Originally, I had 9.6, which I converted which I converted into mole. So I take the original mole and I minus it from how much it was consumed. So 0.3 minus 0.03, and the answer will be 0.27 mole remaining. Thank you.